Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Eccles Talk. Amongst us, we have fan channel royalty, Mr. J. Motty from Stretford Paddock. Now, Jay, we did a late night live on your channel yesterday, slagging Liverpool off. I think we can find just a little bit more time on today's show to do it a little bit more. So how does that sound first and foremost before we get into the topics?
Right. Listen, you can't slag Liverpool off enough. That's my motto.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you wanted to devote an hour to that, I'm all for it. And forgive me, I'm a little distracted. I'm just doing a little community post on Stretford Paddock.
Whilst you're doing a community post, Jay, you can do that. I'm just going to put the topics on the screen for the viewers just so they know what we're going to go through. We're going to talk about Liverpool's downfall, and hopefully it continues to pour whilst it's raining. We're going to discuss United's return to form and how we feel going into that Nottingham Forest game. We'll speak a little bit about recruitment, which we touched on last night also as well. And then if we've got a bit of time towards the end, we'll do a bit of a Q&A with the live viewers, anything. And if they would also want to talk about Liverpool being shit, then I'm absolutely open to doing that as well. Sam's alongside us as well. How are we doing, Sam?
Yeah, not too bad. Like we were talking off camera, Liverpool lost, City lost, United on a good run. Everything's rosy at the minute. I'm quite happy.
Yeah. Weird territory that we're in at the moment, Jay. Before we get into the celebration of Liverpool's downfall, I feel like the performance at Anfield, at least from our perspective, could be that kind of key moment that turns everything around for us. How was you after that game? Did it change your opinion on Amorim? Where was your internal belief? Because, like many, it'd been destroyed, hadn't it, by this point, or before that game?
Yeah, before we get into all that, I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Like the setup you've got here is quite interesting to me, Nick. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of giving, there's a lot going on here. You're holding a mic, you've got your shades on, there's a little bottle of Cavassier on the side. I mean, it's giving Channel U energy. I don't know if you lads remember Channel U.
I remember Channel U.
No, I'm not old enough.
It's like Channel U was like people before like proper YouTube and all that. People would upload videos to Channel U. Usually, what would happen is I'll give you the sort of the linear sort of.
Did you work for Channel U, Jay?
No, I watched it. I used to live with some lads who were into that kind of music, and they like to watch Channel U. And I used to admire the I don't know what you'd call it, whether it's delusion or just what the confidence that some of the people that submitted videos to Channel U had. Because basically how it worked was someone would get the gyro, right? They'd get 80 quid, something like that. And they'd go, let's make a music video. So they'd get the mates together outside the local supermarket or in the bedroom. They'd film it, they'd upload it to Channel U, and Channel U would post it. And that's what that's sort of reminding me. It's usually people like wearing shades, a little bottle of Cavassier or something, looking quiet, you know what I mean? Like something going on there. And I just sort of thought we should talk about that for a few minutes, Nick. Was that like your inspiration?
Can I tell you an honest claim? Everything you just said there, right? Yeah. I've pretty much done. I've shot a music video in front of flats. I'm not even joking. You can still find it on YouTube to this day. Sam could attest to that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Trevelyan Street near West One. There is a video.
When you say you can find it on YouTube, what's the name of it?
I'll send you that.
Oh, like you don't know. What is the name of it? Right. We can do this easy way where you tell me. We can do the hard way where I find it and then my next video on Stretford Paddock is this video.
Do you know what? I'm that embarrassed to say the name of it. I don't even think I could possibly do it to myself. It's on YouTube. If you type in something like, I think it's like Trevelyan Street or something, you'll find it. But
Trevelyan.
It is. Yeah, like you know where West One is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam. Yeah. I always feel like
I
always feel like you and Jay are like derailing. I feel like I'm derailing the show. I think it's called Trevelyan Street or something like that. If
Do you know what, right? I'm being honest, right? I admire anyone who's made music videos, who's done something with music, right? Because when I was at school many, many years ago, and Oasis were big and all that, I was into Oasis. I bought a guitar and I was like, right, I'm going to join a band and do all that, yeah? And then in the end, I think I sold my guitar like 2 years later for some weed. I never did what I was should have exactly. And if it wasn't for that, I could have been the next.
Are you really from Eccles if you haven't sold your guitar for some weed? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
So that was the end of my music career.
You could have been you could have been like a Bez of like a band. You just had vibes in the background.
Someone just needed someone who's just behind their head, dancing about, not particularly good at dancing, can't sing, can't play an instrument.
Well,
not that good looking, then I'm your guy. But unfortunately, there was no job advertisement for that, so I couldn't do it. I can't find it. We'll find it another time. That can be the next video we do. But yeah, it just reminded me of that. But so was this just you on your own doing this video? Or was it part of a collective?
No, it was me and my mates who thought we was all rappers.
What was your name?
Big time.
The group name?
My name was Contrast.
Contrast.
And then because there was a difference.
Was someone else called Brightness and Colour and
Sharpness? Yeah, saturation, sharpness. We are a collective TV together.
We are TV Technicolor. That's who we are.
That was it, man. It was like that was a collective. The Technicolor boys are
HDR is what our name was. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
You've got to try stuff though, right? Do you know what I mean?
Listen, I'm not knocking it.
It grew me as a person. And I think we've grew up at the wrong times because Sam was a cameraman. Sam had his film degree and stuff. Yeah. You was a failed guitarist by the sounds of it, who sold his electric guitar for a bag of weed. And I had a failed rap career, so we could have been potentially the greatest planet or greatest production or greatest artist ever. Who knows?
Yeah,
Coming out of Eccles.
It's a shame, man. We could have really, put Eccles even more on the map. It's already on the map.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we could have been sort of the main people. That were from M30, but never mind. Never say never. It's never too late. Maybe we'll go back to if this YouTube thing don't work out for us. Yeah, we can go back to you can be Contrast, I'll be Sharpness, he can be Brightness, and we can get the band back together.
Right, I think the YouTube thing's going pretty all right for you, so you might be all right in that department.
We'll see. You never say never.
Sam, do you want to kick us off? Go for it.
Yeah, I know it's the United channel, but nothing makes me happier than Liverpool falling apart, and I was enjoying you two sort of slagging Liverpool off last night, and I kind of wanted to get in on the action. Recent years, it's been a bit hard to come by to slag Liverpool off because I'm going to whisper this, they've been pretty good. And I don't like to admit that, but last 7 games, they've lost 6. They spent hundreds of millions on players who are not playing well. Do you feel like their falls come a lot sooner than expected? Or is it just like a blip like City when they had that run last year where was it like 12 games or something where they didn't win or something? Or do you think we can enjoy this downfall a bit longer?
It'll be interesting to see. It's a good question because I feel like what's happened with Slot, and this will sound weird, but just bear with me. Right? Do you remember when Ollie came in after Jose, and all Ollie had to do was just be friendly and nice to everyone and encourage, a few of the players that haven't been getting many minutes under Jose, and all of a sudden, for about 3 months, we were unbeatable. Yeah. And then, we beat everyone. We had this mad run that was like, it broke all the records that Fergie had set in terms of the amount of games we won in that period of time. We went to PSG after losing at home, which was a rarity for us to lose under Ole, and then we lost them. Everyone was like, you're out of the Champions League. And then we went to PSG and had that epic win over them in Paris. And it was like, this is unreal. And then 1 or 2 injuries and people just sort of not keeping the form, and it all just unraveled. And then towards the end of the season, we had almost the polar opposite, where it was the worst run United had in Premier League history. And I feel like what's happened with Slot is he's come in and people were going about how good Klopp was. And I get it, because even though I don't like Liverpool and I don't particularly like Jurgen Klopp, he won every single trophy. He didn't win it at the same time like Fergie did, but he won the Champions League, he won the FA Cup, he won the league, obviously. But that last season he had with him and Salah, for whatever reason, there was something going on there. Do you remember they had the little spat on the touchline? Yeah. He wasn't quite getting the tune out of Salah that he had been doing in the past. There's 1 or 2 other issues there in terms of like the midfield wasn't quite working as well. Just they did okay, didn't they? I think they obviously finished, was it 4th, and they won the League Cup, but we knocked them out of the FA Cup. They didn't quite do what they wanted to. At one point, they were on for the quadruple and ended up only winning, only the League Cup. Slot's come in, and whereas Jurgen Klopp was very emotional and all this, Slot's a little bit more calmer, a bit more stoic. Obviously has a good relationship with Mo Salah, gets a tune out of him, and that worked. Didn't change a lot. He only brought in Chiesa, who didn't really play. Everything sort of seemed to just chug along nicely. He also benefited from the fact that City had their worst run since 2008. So they weren't If City had 100 points, Liverpool would win the league, but they didn't. They were nowhere near that. Arsenal bottled it again, really. So it sort of all worked out well without him having to be that amazing. Give him credit, he won the league, and I'm not saying that's easy because we haven't done it since Fergie retired, but it wasn't like he came in and reinvented the wheel. He just got a tune out of certain players that probably weren't performing as well as they could have done the season before, kind of kept things pretty much the same. It wasn't all about him, it wasn't all emotional, it was just a bit more calm and almost a little bit more boring, which is what they kind of needed, and the rivals weren't as good as they were. So it all worked. They win the title relatively comfortably. There's not that much drama, was there, in that title win?
No.
This season, you're the champions. You got to defend that. Everyone's got that little bit more oomph in them when they play you. City are trying to get their act together. Not quite there yet, but certainly better than they were during that spell last season. Arsenal still doing well. I think Arsenal are at the top now. United up and down, but we've got good players. We can, on our day, we're showing that we can beat anyone. So you've got other teams that are sort of moving forward. And what Slot's done is he's gone, right, okay, or what Liverpool have done, it. I don't know how much is him and how much is the hierarchy. They've gone, Salah's 30 odd years old, 32, 33, whatever it is. He's not going to be around forever. What do we do? And they've almost tried to moneyball it, but rather than moneyballing it where you don't spend much, they've moneyballed it by spending loads. So it's almost they've gone, right, Salah's goals aren't going to be around forever. How can we recreate Salah's goals elsewhere? But rather than doing it on the cheap, we'll do it on the expensive. So we'll bring in Florian Wirtz for 140 million. We'll bring in Alexander Isak for 120 million, whatever it is. We'll bring in Hugo Ekitike for 70 million or 80 million, whatever it is. I forget the numbers. And it's not really working. And the issue you've got is some of these players, certainly Florian Wirtz, isn't looking anything like the player we saw at Leverkusen. Ekitike has actually done all right since come in. Then you've got this issue of Kinneman and Isaac playing the same team alongside Wirtz, alongside Salah, who you don't want to drop. One of your better players has been Gakpo. How does he fit in? What are you going to do there? It's just a bit of a mess. And that's the issue he's got. And to throw into the sort of the other spanner in the works for him, Salah isn't looking like he did at the beginning of last season. For the first 2/3 of last season, Mohamed Salah was unplayable, wasn't
he? Yeah.
He was. And listen, I struggle to say I like or appreciate anyone that plays for Liverpool because I don't. But you have to give him credit. He has been one of the Premier League's best ever players. I think he's been Liverpool's best ever player. Certainly the best player I've ever seen play for Liverpool. So if he's suddenly not at those levels, what are you going to do? And the players you brought in aren't performing. You're kind of in a bit of trouble. And I just think it affects the whole team mindset as well. When you've got a player like Salah in your team and he's on fire, on form, the whole team's got that little bit of extra bump. We used to see it with Eric. It's like if Eric started, you always felt we'd win. No matter who the opposition was, no matter what went on, Eric's here, we're going to be okay. It'll see us through. And it also helped that we had other experienced players who'd won things and were, confident.
Well, you saw when he suspended, we didn't win. We? So it was like...
No, we won. Eric came in the 92-93 season. We won the league for the first time in 26 years. Won the double in 93-94, sorry. We're flying in the FA Cup final, doing well in the FA Cup, sorry. Top of the league, where thereabouts. In 94-95, he gets suspended. We lose the FA Cup final. Yep. We lose the league by a point or whatever it was.
Yep.
He comes back, October 95. We do the double in 96. We're in the league again in 97. He retires. We don't win anything in 98. That's not a coincidence. That's a talismanic icon coming into your team, providing you with match-winning goals, that aura before it was a thing that you needed, and just doing that. Coupled with Salah dropping off, I think Van Dijk's drops off. Mm-hmm. And that goes under the radar because Konate's been poor. Other people haven't stepped up. Frimpong's not been a good signing so far. Kirkes just doesn't look like the same player we saw at Bournemouth. So people haven't looked at Van Dijk as much, but I've not been impressed with Van Dijk when I've seen him. So I think you just got the perfect storm of all these things. And they've struggled to cope with it. And long may it continue.
It's interesting, isn't it, how football can change, because you talk about almost a perfect cocktail for Arne Slot, and random guy with a super chat saying Arne Slot at the wheel with fire emojis. But it was the perfect kind of layout. It was the perfect kind of balance for him. Just take over this Jurgen Klopp team that almost won quite a lot just before he left. And just giving that extra pedal, and they went and won the league. Now, having spent 400 odd million quid or whatever it's been, the team seems super imbalanced. Whereas with Ruben Amorim, Jay, when he first come in, it was the opposite, really. He was coming into an absolute shit show. Mid-season, manager lost his job. Players weren't looking up for it. Wanted to get rid of some players. Tactics were all over the gaff. I mean, you name it, there was problems left, right, and centre, right? Now you look at where both clubs are at the minute. Obviously, we're only 9 games into the season. But with it now being the 1-year anniversary of Amorim's appointment, I think it is this Saturday when they first announced it. How would you reflect on that time for you? Because it's been a fucking mad ride, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to look at it as a whole year, it's been pretty woeful. Like, let's be honest. I like Ruben Amorim, and I think he's showing signs of why we brought him in. And I'm hopeful that he can, as the chances bring the glory days back to Manchester United. But you can't ignore the fact that we finished 15th, we lost the final to Spurs. Even this season, although things are moving in the right direction, now we know we have been knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Grimsby. So there's been some low moments. So I think on the whole, over the course of a year, it's not been good enough. But the one thing I will say is if you were to take a year and if you were to choose how it panned out, and it was to pan out in one way, in a way where you lost all these matches and all the rest of it, you'd want that to happen early doors and then get better. Yeah. And it kind of is now, because he hadn't won back-to-back Premier League matches until 2 weeks ago. Now he's won 3 in a row. Now it's not time to get the bunting out, but it's moving in the right direction. It's not like he won his first 3 games and then it's all just fell off a cliff. It's been pretty poor, let's be honest, but more recently it's looking much better. He's up for Manager of the Month. I think he'll get it. I think he should get it.
Interesting.
I think even though you can look at Arsenal and go, well, they've won 3 as well, but look at the level of opposition. I know Liverpool have been poor, but they're still the reigning champions. To go to Anfield and get a win, can't ignore that. Compared to, I think Arsenal played, is it Fulham, West Ham, and someone else? Forgive me, I've forgotten the other one. So I think that Ruben Amorim deserves that Manager of the Month. I think it has been getting better. I think on the whole, this year hasn't been good enough. It's been a lot worse than I expected. But we've seen these little green shoots now that we can look at and go, okay, maybe now we're just seeing what Ruben Amorim is truly about.
Yeah. You just touched on Grimsby there. Obviously, since you were last on, which I think was pre-season, I think we had you on. We've been destroyed by Grimsby, Brentford. People call for the manager's head, very much like last season, really. And then we've gone to beat Liverpool, got a 3-game winning run. Players look like starting to click. Like you said, Ruben Amorim Manager of the Month and Boomo Player of the Month. The environment, the flags at Old Trafford, everything starts to feel like a bit better. I'd like you said, don't get the celebrations, sausage rolls out, but we're getting there. How have you as a fan that you're taking the season? Because obviously it's been a roller coaster this season, like starting terribly and now we're going the way back up. Have you become a little more detached from it because of last season and a bit more perspective led rather than being like fully emotionally in it? Because I feel like being fully emotionally involved in it is just like, it's killing me.
You become
like,
numb,
literally killing me. Like I'm just becoming apathetic to things.
Yeah.
When I'm going to think. How are you feeling like as a match? Because you've been going to matches a bit longer than I have. Like, how are you feeling?
It's weird. I feel there was a stage last season where I was almost becoming apathetic. I was like, it wasn't hurting as much, the losses. It was almost like you kind of expecting it at times. And I remember sort of, you can almost compare the same defeats. The 3-0 loss at home to Bournemouth under Ten Hag, where I felt infuriated and then the 3-0 loss at home, I think it was under Amorim, wasn't it, to Bournemouth. Yep. And you just kind of like, this is what we've become. And there was a bit of that creeping in. But I feel like we made pre-season, the signings we made, it's very rare that Manchester United go out and they buy the players that I was hoping they would.
Yeah.
And it felt like that happened. When we were linked with Cunha, I well wanted Cunha. Was massively impressive with what I saw him at Wolves. And I'm not one of those guys. Anyone that watches Stretford Paddock knows me. I don't watch a lot of different leagues. I'm just not that guy. I struggle even to watch the Champions League. And I know, like,
oh, really?
You should. But I just do.
You're not watching the Belgian league and doing your scouting.
No, like,
no.
Oh, we had a section prepared on the Mons as well.
Sorry. I'll have to Google it and pretend that I do. But we'll get linked with like anyone, like the goalkeeper. Like Le Mans, we get linked with him, and everyone's like, just all of a sudden an expert on him, and think, fuck off. How much have you watched the Royal Antwerp? Do me a favour. Do you know what I mean? Really? There might be one or two who have, but like all the internet suddenly knows everything about him. They act like they've not just Googled it or gone on YouTube and watched some clips. It's like, bore off. I just struggle with it. So I don't know a lot of the players that we link with when I've not seen much of them, but I do know players that are in the Premier League. I had seen a lot of Brian and Bumo. I had seen a lot of Mateus Cunha, and I knew a lot about them in terms of what I'd seen and what I liked. And also, it was easy to like them because when you watch them, they're exciting. If you're into your numbers, they put numbers on the board. So he's like, yeah, I really wanted to get these lads. And we got them both. And I was really chuffed for that because I thought we might get one. Well, Cunha was pretty early gone. I thought we might not get him, Bumo. We got him. Then you go and get Sesko, which is a bit of a surprise. Again, I don't know loads about him, but I knew enough about him to know that this is a very...
He loves Sesko.
Well, I get it, because, loads of clubs have been after him. He'd been raved about for years. United have been looking at him for years. Yeah. So you don't have to be a European football expert to know that Benjamin Sesko is one of the most sought-after strikers in the world. So I was excited. Yes, there was still worries about the goalkeeping situation and the midfield situation, but I was like, you know what? Getting a little bit of hope. The Arsenal game gave me even more hope, which might sound a little bit paradoxical because we lost, but the performance was better. Took my son with me. He actually left the ground, and he was almost happy because he'd watched an entertaining game, and he gets quite emotional when United lose, but he was like, you know what? I think we're going to be all right this season. And I agree with him. I thought he's talking a lot of sense for a 10-year-old. And then you have the games where it's just not good enough. The Fulham game was slightly deflated. Should have beaten them, really.
Yeah. The
Grimsby game, unforgivable. Just completely unforgivable. The manager looks like he's unravelling a little bit. City, obviously, and Brentford. But what I'm getting to is, because I've been impressed with the signings, because I've been impressed with the Arsenal performance, I haven't been apathetic when we lost to Brentford or City, obviously, it's a derby anyway, or Grimsby. It hurt. Because it's the hope that kills you, and I had a little bit of hope. Yeah. So I think that's where I was at with it all. I'm beginning to think, this team has the capabilities to do something, and then they were letting me down again. So I was getting annoyed and deflated and just all the emotions that football fans go through. And on the flip side to that, now, because we've been putting some better performances in, results, the game at Anfield, phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am ready to get carried away again. I am. Honestly.
Yeah, we need to be careful, though.
I'm ready to be hurt again.
I do think we need to be slightly careful because I felt like, you go and beat Chelsea, you've got that Brentford game, and you think, right, okay, this is you crack on now, you move on. And that Brentford one was such a low par performance. That was only a month ago. Don't forget that Brentford performance. So there's still something. I don't know if it's maybe PTSD from previous seasons or whatever, but there's still something in me there.
I get you. I will say a couple of things on that, though. I'm not trying to rewrite history because I didn't defend it at the time, so I can't just defend it now. It wasn't good enough, and too many players didn't turn up. However, two things can be true, and I think that whilst it wasn't great, there were certain mitigating circumstances which didn't help us.
Mm-hmm.
The goalkeeper didn't help us.
No.
Oh, God,
I thought he was at fault for two of the goals, personally. You may disagree.
No,
I agree.
The referee didn't help us. Yes, we got a penalty, but for me, it's a red card. That VAR, whatever is, it was, he wasn't in control of the ball, but he wasn't in control of the ball because he was getting pulled back, so it should have been a red. So you can look at it and go, okay, yes, United could have done better and should have done better, but also we weren't helped by certain things that, one is out of our control in terms of bad decisions, and another one, a goalkeeper who, if we're being honest, ain't good enough. He's had enough chances now behind him. Me and Joe from Paddock were chatting earlier, and we were talking about how Le Mans has come in, and he's had, 3 good consecutive games?
Yep.
With all due respect, as Bayern had 3 good games for United the entire time he's been here.
No, it's so
genuinely.
True. It's so
has
true.
he? let alone three in a row.
He's had what, one game? Arsenal in the FA Cup?
Arsenal in the FA Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and even then, there was still some dodgy things
so
in that game.
That's why I look at it and go, okay, I can almost forgive that one and go, that's not indicative of quite where we are now. I do feel now as well, you've got Cunha seems to have just notched it up a level.
Yep.
He's got back to the player we saw at Wolves, if not a little bit better. And Bumo is doing exactly what it says on the tin. And I think another factor as well is Amorim still makes changes in the games and all that stuff, but I think he went a little bit turbo against Brentford, where it was literally at one point there was like a merry-go-round going on with players. Like every 5 minutes, he was moving someone around.
Mount at wing back,
and Bumo dropping deeper, and it was just crazy. You couldn't keep track of it. And I think he's calmed down a little bit with that as well. I mean, I know it's only, like you said, it was a month ago, so it's not like he's completely changed. But I just feel like we might have reasons to be a bit more confident. And also, you can't underestimate what, I keep going back to it because it's true, what a win at Anfield can do for you. Yeah. Like, United haven't won there since what, 2016?
Rooney won it.
Decade.
Is it a decade? 20, yeah I think it might be 20. Yeah. 20, sorry. And, you know, I think we scored 2, obviously, in the 2-2 last season. Other than that, we struggled for goals there over many years.
Yeah.
So it's not a ground where you can go as a happy hunting ground for United. It isn't. Our record there is embarrassing. To go there, get a win. And yes, like Gakpo hit the post a couple of times, Liverpool had chances, but they're always going to have chances. The Liverpool at Anfield against United, they're not going to, it's not like they're not going to create anything. But I thought United deserved the win. I do. I think we managed the game well, handled the game well, turned up. I thought there was a lot of good performances from Manchester United, and I think we deserved the win, and we got one. So that gives everyone a little bit of a boost and a lift, and quieten some of the noise around Amorim. I said before the Sunderland game, when people were saying like about Amorim, could he go and all the rest of it, I said the issue with Amorim being sacked is, at what point do you think now, since Amorim's come in, has been the point where he should have got sacked? I don't think there'd been one. I don't think there'd been a game. Maybe after the Grimsby game was the closest.
Yeah, say the Grimsby one might have been the one.
Yeah, that was the closest. But even then, I think it's that early in the season that you're probably going, it's a bit daft to say you're backing him in the summer, bring in a load of players, and then 5 games in, sack him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was one. I said after Anfield, take stock then, because you've got Sunderland at home. Yes, they were doing well, but it's a newly promoted team, and you've got Liverpool. So if you lose at home Sunderland and you're going to get battered off the Scousers, then you're probably in big trouble. However, we won at home Sunderland quite comfortably, one of our better performances, and then we beat Liverpool. And all of a sudden you're like, everything's all right. So I think that Amorim, you know, he's showing signs. We just need to see it continue.
Sam, you wanted to touch on the recruitment, didn't you?
Yeah. I just wanted to I touch on Jay's point there before I talk about recruitment. You also mentioned like the belief. We also got that Brighton, the bogey team, off our backs as well. I think we haven't won against them for the last 5 times we've played them, and we beat them pretty handily at Old Trafford. I know there's a little bit of nervy thing when your boy Danny Welbeck decides to ring back the changes and stick a free kick in from 20 yards out, but you got to let him have a goal, haven't you? You got to let him.
Exactly, man. It's the best of both worlds. United win and Welbeck scores. What more can you want?
I'll take that. But you touched on the standout players, like obviously Bumo, Cunha, and one player I wanted to talk about who he didn't come in the summer, but he came in the summer before, Matthijs de Ligt. I think he has been the underrated player of our season so far. Like absolute consistent colossus at the back, body on the line, tackles, blocks, leading by example. How impressed have you been by him this season? Like, obviously, he showed a few glimpses last year, but we had a pretty shit season. I honestly, every time I watch him this season, I am like, this dude is getting better and better and better. Like, he looks phenomenal this season. Like, I just wanted to hear like your opinion and your thoughts on him, seeing him.
I couldn't agree more. I'm running out of words to describe Matthijs de Ligt. I did a video on him last season where I was praising him like you just have them. This was a few months into it. I said, look, I've seen enough already. Like, this guy is the real deal. And I think people had been a little bit overly critical with him and dismissed his achievements and just been, I don't know, it's like not an agenda. I think that's a bit of too strong a word, but it was like people were looking at certain things and just not understanding it fully. So an example I'll give you this is like, obviously he was like this wonder kid when he at Ajax. He was captain in Ajax when he was 18 and one of the most spoken about defenders in the world. Gets his move to Juve. Does relatively well at Juve. I think he wins the Scudetto there.
Yep.
Then he moves to Bayern Munich after a couple of years, and people are going, "Oh, he's moving around a lot, and you know what's going on there." But he's got a Bayern Munich now. Juve are a good club, big club, won titles and Champions Leagues and all that. I'd argue Bayern Munich are maybe slightly a bit of a step up
nowadays for sure. Yeah.
You'd be honest, like, are you more likely to win a Champions League at Bayern Munich or Juve, for example?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a big move still. He's not going from Juve dropping down. It's not like his performances have been poor. And I think there was some sort of thing going on with his contracts as well at Juve.
Didn't you have a fallout with some of the defenders like Chiellini and...
There was certain things going on. I think there was a little bit of politics, something to do with his contract renewal, all sorts going on. It wasn't like he hadn't performed well for Juve.
Yeah.
And yet people looked at it as, he hadn't. He's not as quite the player he was at Ajax and all this. And I think there's a little bit harsh. Goes to Bayern Munich. And then you had this narrative building that, Eric Dyer's keeping him out of the team and all this, which just wasn't true. He'd had a couple of injuries and they brought him back into the team. He got injured again. And then they'd sort of been more cautious with him because they'd been like, we don't want him to get injured again. Being a bit more cautious. I know they had Kim Min-jae and they had Upamecano and he obviously got other options. But the fans loved the Ligt and his performances for Bayern Munich were very good. And again, it became this sort of thing, he's not really worked out by Munich. Dyer's keeping out of the team, that's why they get rid of him. It wasn't. And I think there's a little bit of, I keep using the word politics, but there's a lot of politics that goes on at Bayern Munich with players. Definitely. We've seen it so much. And it felt like that with Matthijs de Ligt. And then he gets a move to Manchester United. And then this is as well, the time people looking at it as though you go to United, Jesus Christ, his career must be right in the doldrums. United are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Matthijs de Ligt has played for Ajax, Juve, Bayern Munich and Manchester United. It's not too shabby. No. He comes to United, and I think there's almost people expecting and waiting for him to fail and any little mistake or anything that doesn't go right, people picking up on. But when you actually watch him week in, week out, there's a top player there. Like, he's mint. And I just continue to be impressed with him. And more so even when I'm at the games and you see the way he communicates with people, you see what he does off the ball and just his general, this sort of the way he carries himself and everything. There's something about him where you just feel quite confident in him.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed, and I did a video saying, it's nothing that insightful. I think loads of people have been saying it. There's a future captain there for United. There's a leader there. Whether he's got the armband or not, he's a leader.
Yeah.
And this season, you've seen it that continue and maybe even raise up a little bit. And he's in a team with a good goalkeeper behind him, whether he's got Luke Shaw or Lenny Yoro or Harry Maguire next to him. He's got good defenders around him. He's got good players in front of him, and he's doing really well. And I think, he went under the radar a little bit in this system. He can work really well. He can move forward into the midfield area really well. There's almost times with United when I remember, I think it was the Fulham FA Cup game last season. I was sitting in a different position in the ground. I got some posh tickets.
Hey.
I took my lad to the posh bit for once. And looking down on it, you can see there was a time when the Ligt had sort of moved in midfield. We were almost like 4-4-2 at one point. I was almost, sort of, my mouth was dribbling because I was so excited at the prospects of United playing something similar to a 4-4-2. But
he didn't get Brighton as well. If you watch the Brighton game back, he tracks Danny Welbeck all the way to the halfway line. Like, he ends up on the halfway line.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
that's confidence,
going
right?
deep in it. Yeah, that's confidence, exactly.
That stems from
he's got
a good
that
goalkeeper as well. I think people overlook that quite a lot. The fact that he had Bayindir or Onana behind him. You can't imagine as fans, we've all sat there and watched the game where we felt super fucking nervous. Imagine what the defenders are like.
He's probably having to drop back into it because he's like, I don't know what he's going to do.
Trust him.
So.
You look at post Peter Schmeichel, pre Van der Sar, how many goalkeepers we went through.
Madness.
And what does that tell you as well? Because you had, obviously, Van der Gaal, who was getting on a bit, so he didn't last very long. Then you had Mark Bosnich. He had his issues.
Yeah.
Something about glass houses and pots calling kettles, so I'll not go too deep into that one. We've all been there, Mark. I feel you. I feel your pain, bro. Yeah, don't worry about it. You had Ricardo, I think. You had Andy Gorham. You had
in that
Thomas
period.
Kuszczak.
Yeah,
Thomas Kuszczak, do you remember him?
Yeah, you had
Roy
Carroll. You had Tim Howard. But
Jesus.
Barthez, I don't know if I mentioned Barthez.
Yeah.
The point I'm getting at is Fergie was quick to go. They're not the one.
Yeah.
They ain't the one. Like, no, not happening. No, we can't rely on him. No, because he understood you aren't going to get away with it. You ain't going to get away with it if your goalkeeper isn't up to it at Manchester United. So that's why we went through so many goalkeepers, because it wasn't just the fact that these goalkeepers had issues or weren't quite, at the levels you want. Is the manager knew you can't risk it. You can't wait. You can't go, oh, let's just give him that one more season and see if it works out for him. Fuck that. He's gone. That's how Fergie did it. And he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the most criticised position at United, in it, the goalkeeper for United. Like, it's unbelievable pressure.
That's why I've been so impressed with Le Mans, how he's coming in, and now he's so composed and calm, and the bar's that low at United. When he fucking caught a cross at Old Trafford, the fans went nuts. They went absolutely mad, and it's like,
that's great.
For
him, it's great. He's going to get confidence from that.
Yeah,
the fans cheering. He's probably stood down the ball thinking, what though?
Just caught the ball. Yeah,
yeah.
Are these all right? These fans?
Is this all I've got to do? Just catch the ball.
You know what I mean? Is this a testimonial game?
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
I wanted to ask, obviously, the recruitment we've spoken about in depth, but if we get back into the Champions League, I don't want to get ahead of myself. People are calling that Europa League final a blessing in disguise because we've only got one game a week and we can kind of prepare properly for it. When that demand does come round, are you looking at the squad, Jay, thinking, well, we're going to need an expansion here, we're going to need more depth? Because even with AFCON this year, you're seeing like Mbumo, Ahmad, Mazraoui, all these players going off. And we've seen what it's like at times when the rotational players come in, like your Diego Delos, and, I don't want to just hammer one player, but would that be a slight concern for you? Let's say we are playing 3 games a week at the moment with this squad.
It's weird because part of me feels like you get sort of gain momentum from playing so often in big games, and it's a Champions League game, then it's a big game at the weekend. You've got Forest away, and then you've got PSG or whatever in the week, and you sort of riding the crest of a wave of every game being exciting, and it can help you in some respects. So I don't always know about this whole 1 game a week thing, how it can work. I'm just talking mainly as a fan. As a fan, you like to see that. You obviously want your team in the Champions League for starters. As a fan, you want to see more football than less. The only issue I've got with the 1 game a week thing is I understand how it can help you. We saw obviously the biggest example of that. People always refer to Leicester winning the league when they had 1 game a week and they had a small squad and they managed it quite, almost the same 11. I think after 10 games when Danny Simpson came in, it was more or less the same 11 every week. Yeah. And they won the title that way. My only concern with this for United is I actually think it's the other way around rather than us not having the players for it. Is if you only got 1 game a week and you've got barely any injuries, you might struggle to keep everyone happy because you're already in a situation with Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee, according to reports, want to leave in January. Now, Mainoo, both getting minutes. Mainoo in particular, he keeps coming off the bench. I know he's probably not enough for him, but he's being used. So there's a good chance the manager ain't going to want to let him go anywhere. Xerxes even getting some minutes, not many, but it's not like he's not featuring at all. If, let's say, I don't know, it's February, AFCON's been and gone, the transfer window's been and gone, and then you've got 1 game a week and everyone's fit, and you've got Cunha and Mbumo, Mount, all for those, for those 2 number 10 positions. You've got Maguire, De Ligt, Yoro, Shaw, Martinez is back for the 3 centre-back positions. You might end up with a situation where there's 1 or 2 players who are going, I don't want to be playing once a fortnight or, half an hour every 2 weeks or whatever. it's a World Cup year, I need to be playing regularly. Yeah. That's where it might get a little bit tricky for Ruben Amorim if he's got to manage all that. Because one game a week means if you miss out that week, obviously you've gone, you could go 2 weeks without a game or whatever, or however long it is. So that's the sort of concern I might have a little bit around. I mean, the chances are United have the usual injury crisis, and by January we're having to bring in loanees because we're struggling. But we might not be. We might be in a situation where you actually find that it's not happened yet, but it's happened a little bit, obviously, with Maynard and Xerxes, like I said. But you could see it now where, like, Mount was injured, wasn't he? Or had a knock. He's coming back now. Cunha's been doing really well. And Bumo's been doing well. I think Sesko's been doing well.
Yep.
There's going to be someone's going to miss out there. And it's how do you manage that particular issue? We call it an issue. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a nice problem to have. And United should always have that problem, really. We should have players on the bench or not getting a team who should, are good enough to start. But it'll just be interesting to see how Amorim handles that, especially, like I said, with the World Cup coming up, where players are going to be like chomping at the bit to get minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
Should we get some questions that I've found? Oh, go on.
I was going to say, just before you do that, we can read out the questions. Just a quick thing I wanted to do just before we kind of finish up. I'm going to ask you, Jay, to blind rank our 5 summer signings. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give you a name and you rank it within the 5. So
okay.
First one up, Le Mans.
I'm going to go 2.
Oh, interesting.
There's a big difference maker. Big difference maker. So in terms of just because of the difference he'll make, or he could make for this team, I'll put him in 2nd.
Next up, Benjamin Šeško.
This feels like a diss and it's not, but I'll put him in 4th. And this isn't a diss. I think all 5 signings, even Leon scored a belter dinner the other day for the under-18s. So I think they've all been, they're all good. Like, obviously Leon's one for the future anyway. But this isn't a diss. I'm not putting him up against players that are crap. I think he's been good so far. I love watching him. I can see why I bought him, sorry. But yeah, I'll put him in 4th just because the quality of some of the other signings, that's all that is. I still think he's been a very good signing. I still think he'd be a good player for Manchester United.
Next, Brian and Mbumo.
1. Yeah. Love him, man. Absolutely love him.
He's class,
was desperate for us to sign him, and he's almost exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, same.
Do you know what I mean? I think he looks better for us than he did at Brentford, and he was mint for Brentford.
100%. Diego Leon.
Probably put him, and this, let's be real. This isn't a criticism of him, and he might end up being the shining star of everyone on this list when his career's finished. He might look back and go, he was the one that played, 500 games for United and won the lot. But as it stands, you put him in 5th because he's one for the future.
Yeah. Which means Matheus Cunha would be 3rd. And what did you make of the Cantona comparison that you've seen a lot as well with that?
Yeah, I get it. I think when you talk about Cantona comparison, we'll get sort of dismissive that goal, you're talking nonsense. But I think there's certain traits there, like he's got that edge to him, hasn't he? Which Cantona had.
Shithousery.
Yeah, shithousery. And I think it's even a little bit more than that. I think sometimes when you say shithousery, I think of people, lying on the floor when they've been hit, or, had a knock, or just talking nonsense if someone's hit. But he's got that actual edge where you could see he's ready to chin someone. Like Eric did.
Why we signed him.
Did he get banned for trying to hit a Ipswich coach or something?
Yeah.
Headbutted a coach.
Yeah. And, I'm not condoning violence, but that's the kind of thing you want to see now and again.
Yeah. Bit of bite.
Yeah. And I remember watching the Arsenal game and it made me laugh because it was Ben White?
Yeah.
Who got injured. He was on the deck and Cunha was raging, fuming with him. And he stood over him and he's trying to pick him up and the Arsenal players come over. And at one point, it's just Cunha with 4 Arsenal players around him. And he's just ready for it. You can see he's what?
I'll take a ball. I'll take a ball.
Yeah. And you can see there, just calm yourself. And he's going on at Ben White, Ben White is literally injured. He wasn't time wasting. I think he got took off and missed the next few games, whatever. But he was having it. I was really impressed. I thought we missed a bit of that. No one's bullying us. 100%. No one's having it. You can do what you want against United. He was up for it. And he's obviously very, very talented. And I said this on one of the videos we did on Paddock, like, if you ever want to shine an example of why stats don't tell you full story, watch him against Liverpool.
Yeah.
If you don't watch that game, you can look on a piece of paper and go, you know,
he didn't score.
Didn't score, didn't get any assists. You know, how many shots did he have? What did he do? Well, watch that performance.
Yeah. Well, what composure?
Like,
dragging it up the pitch.
Taking that ball,
like,
the business end of the pitch, keeping hold of it.
Yeah.
The amount of poor passes he received and made work was unreal.
Yeah.
He was getting passes fired at him at like 100 mile an hour, and he was controlling it. Passes put behind him, and he was getting it back into his stride and keeping hold of it. He was the kind of player that could make me look good alongside him. He was just unreal. So I just think, he's been class so far, and I can understand why people are sort of making those Eric comparisons. Just that little bit of swagger, that little bit about him, that little bit of an edge as well. I think that's what it's about. Obviously, in terms of the actual style of play, they're completely different, but they've got that edge that we've missed at Old Trafford for far too long.
Yeah, sure. Sam, do you want to take us on with the questions?
Yeah. There's some corkers in there. Jay, Schweinsteiger versus Liverpool or Maguire versus Liverpool, which performance was better?
That's a very, very good question. It's close, but whilst Maguire obviously got the winning goal and deserves his flowers, Schweinsteiger against Liverpool is the best midfield performance the Premier League's ever seen. So I know Maguire's not a midfielder, but I can't look past that.
Yeah, he's more of a striker, Maguire, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Are you now demanding Slot grow his hair out so he doesn't bring baldness into disrepute?
It's a good point, that.
What a question. Who asked that?
It's very
that is Picale6143.
Yeah.
That is a very good question. He's an absolute embarrassment to us baldies. He really is. So I'm considering getting a wig or trying to convince Arne Slot to grow his hair, because we can't have this association. It's absolutely shameful.
Yeah.
Brian Casey, shout out to Brian Casey. Jay, what's your chippy tea order?
I'll have chips, steak and kidney pudding, bit of gravy, and also a chip balm on the side. Or a balm, sorry, on the side.
You fat bastard.
Yeah, man.
Chips.
Definitely.
Chips, steak and kidney pudding with gravy and a chip balm on the side. As if they don't give you enough
just
chips.
A balm.
Oh,
a balm, sorry. I misspoke. And I might even throw in some mushy peas, depending on the quality of the mushy peas from which chip it is.
What are you having, Nick?
Fair.
What are you having?
I always get sausage chips, gravy, mushy peas. Light work.
Yeah. I'm the same, minus the mushy peas. Sausage.
I love mushy peas, man. You can't not get it. There's a chippy right there. I can see the chippy from my house. It's dangerous stuff, man. Walk down the road, Helen Street chippy. Yeah.
Are you going to be recording your next video outside it?
Why not? Why not?
Music video.
Yeah.
Latest news.
Contract is out
Christ.
there. Backed by Dope Demand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fishes.
Me and my boys at the chippy and all that. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Keep an eye out.
Why does Joe keep fighting people behind Asda?
It's his job. It's what he's got to do.
Nice.
Can't knock it.
Jay, did you invent Eccles cakes?
No, I remember when they were invented, though. No. In the 19th century, I was there and thereabouts during that time. It was so great. Such a fabulous time to be alive. That and watching Billy Meredith play for United was just a phenomenon.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Before color TV, black and white, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
on my
so
TV.
Good.
Yeah.
Somebody's just come in. Holy shit! I clicked right away thinking that was Arne Slot himself. My bad, bro. You're more good looking than him, though. So,
I presume he's talking about you, Nick.
No, I've got hair. I'm good. It's probably one of you guys, I'm guessing.
Thoughts on a possible Conor Gallagher loan?
Not for me.
Not for you.
I think he's all right. I don't necessarily think he's what we need.
Industrious player, innit?
Yeah.
Legs.
Why does Jay wear jeans so low down on his waist?
It's a good question, that.
And you wear very baggy jeans as well.
They're not that baggy, man. I've lost weight. I've lost weight.
And it just hasn't changed your jeans?
No. Like, there isn't the money in YouTube there used to be. I'm lazy, you know what? I need to buy some new fucking jeans.
If we can donate some money to we'll put a link.
Every penny helps to help Jay get a pair of jeans.
Jean fund, a pair of denims for Jay, okay?
Yeah.
Start GoFundMe.
Jorts for Jay.
Yeah, nice.
I think this person's lying, but I'm going to read it out. As a lifelong Liverpool fan, I think we need to get in Gareth Southgate. He'll get us back where we need to be. I think that person's lying.
Well, we've been there before as United, haven't we? Where people talk about Southgate. So rather than
that'd be great. I'd love that if that happened. By the way.
Do
you know how many old tweets I'd have to go and find from Liverpool fans laughing at United being linked with Gareth Southgate? I'd have to retweet them all. It'd be just such a chore, but worth it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, has Big Brian got a better touch than Dimitar Berbatov?
Oh, that's a close one for me.
Yeah,
to be honest,
it's difficult. You know what? We're quite blessed, aren't we? In a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The talent and the technical ability of so many of our players. You look at Sesko's touch. You look at Mbumo. You look at Ahmad. Look at Cunha.
Bruno.
Like, I think. I mean, it's a good question. I couldn't really give you the answer, to be honest with you. But I just think that sort of goes under the radar. Just the ability of these players. It's just top draw. Feels so different, doesn't it, than a year ago? You know, when you were like, and I don't want to hate on players that everyone loves to hate on now. That some of them are still technically United players because they're just on loan. But Rasmus Højlund just weren't happening for him, was it?
Yeah.
Garnacho was just frustrating everyone. Rashford looked like he just didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
And it was just like, where are we going? What's happening?
It
was like, you got to like, I don't know, it was like December and you had like 6 Premier League goals between them. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? And now it just feels like, it feels a lot different. And even someone like Xerxes, I know he was around last season, but even his touch as well.
Yeah, technical standpoint.
Yeah, technical standard. He's class. It's just... You have to sort of question, has he quite got what we need right now? And I missed him out, actually, when I was talking about all those players in the number 10 position. He's another one.
Yeah, for sure. That is it. Somebody asked about a prediction for the thingy game, the Forest game, but I'm sure Jay's doing his preview, so please go check that out.
In an hour, I think. Yeah, it's out in an hour.
So go check Jay's out on there. Me and Nick and Chivy will be doing ours shortly after this show at 7 o'clock, so come check ours out and you'll give you the prediction on there. Nick, do you want to wrap it up?
Also, check me and Jay out on Late Night Live last night as well, where it got a bit mad and went sideways as it always does. But it was very enjoyable, and I'm always
good. And I appreciate you coming on, man. It's always good chatting to you guys. And
before we wrap up, Jay,
getting you on the channel,
top famous people for Meckles, as we always do.
Right, there's Benedict Wong's up there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I love about Benedict Wong? When he was in, like, you're watching Avengers Endgame or whatever.
Yeah.
There's that scene in there, right, where all the Avengers start coming out of them circles.
Yeah.
And like Black Panther and everyone and Captain America is giving it, Avengers Assemble. So that's an iconic bit. And Benedict Wong's there, isn't he? He's one of the ones that appears, and he says, he's got that line, he says, when I think Doctor Strange says something to him like, is there anyone else coming or whatever? And he says, you wanted more? I remember saying to my kids, I went, he's from Eccleston. And he went, what? I went, he's from Eccles. No, he's not. He is, he's from Eccles. I'm like, you're lying. Dad, he's not from Eccles. I'm like, he is.
Yeah.
And
how can an Avenger be from Eccles? What are you on about?
A guy like in one of the most iconic moments in event like Marvel history. Oh, he's from Eccles, by the way. He's from down the road. And he is. So Benedict Wong is just like, it's meant.
Did you expect to go up like a Manc accent and just be like, all right, like, wandering out the portal? Do you know what I mean?
I thought
Avengers Assemble.
Where's this Thanos dickhead? He's gonna get
mate.
1 out of
mate.
What are you saying, you?
Dickhead. Swat him. Swat him.
He's got the ring.
Your jaw's getting snapped.
Yeah. That would be a better version, I think. Yeah. I would prefer that version.
Northern Avengers.
Northern Avengers. Yeah, make it happen. Benedict Wong spearheading it. Yeah, all for it.
We got Angry Ginge.
Yeah. Angry Ginge, a good guy.
We got you.
Ginge.
We got Jay Motty. And then we got
Danny Simpson. You've got Chelsea Healy from Hollyoaks.
Chelsea Healy.
Who won Strictly, I think, as well.
Yeah. Michelle Keegan.
No.
Not Eccles.
Earlham.
Not Eccles.
Earlham.
Yeah.
But funny enough,
Earlham produced such a beautiful. It's incredible.
Funny enough, though, she's done sort of chat shows and stuff. Where I think she says she's from Stockport, but her family are from Earlham, and I know people that know her. I think she's definitely from Earlham.
Okay.
So there's a bit of controversy there.
Okay.
Right. Be proud of where you're from. That's my motto. I'm saying,
Where are you from again, Jay?
Sale.
I'm from Knutsford. Hale Barnes.
There you go.
Knutsford. Are you?
I'm all over me, mate. I grew up in Partington. I've lived in Eccles when I was little and as a baby, and moved to Stretford. Then lived in Wales for 6 months. Then lived in Davium for a little while. Then lived in Partington for a big chunk of my childhood. Then moved back to Davium. Then moved to Eccles again. Lived in London when I studied. Back to Eccles. Then to Earlham for a spell.
Nobody moves to Eccles 3 times. Like that's
that's the main story, though. That's the art of the story. He always comes back to Eccles. This is
it, man. Because no matter where you go in the world, right? And I've been everywhere. Yeah. You always want to come back to M30. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I was literally having a brew in Beverly Hills on the tour.
This is nothing on Eccles.
Where's the man shit?
This?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Mate, I'm getting off me. I'm going to go and find myself a Greggs. Yeah. Like, there's no place in there.
There's no canal here. Like,
everyone was over in Thailand. Everyone's getting, amazed at the sort of the waterfront and how beautiful it is. And I was just like, this is nothing like the canal. Get me down to the swing bridge now. I've had enough of this shit already.
It's nothing like a cold pint in the spinners that'll turn you.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. You know the dance. There's no place on earth like Eccles.
I think that's the best place to leave it. What a wonderful podcast it has been, as always. Jay, what are we up to this weekend? What's Paddock doing? What are you guys doing?
So we've got obviously the Forest games coming up. We've got to watch along for that. The preview's going out in an hour for that one, as I mentioned earlier. We've got Off the Bars just gone out with me and Joe, our first video for a while because I've been away. Just in my life as well. It's Halloween, innit? Big deal for the kids. So my missus just dropped me a message actually while we were recording saying that Asda's run out of costumes, so I've got to see if I can find some in town. It'll be Halloween and Forest and the usual content around the game and stuff as well. Yeah, exciting. And plus as well, kids football on Saturdays. It's weird because that United have got Forest, so I'm not able to do the dropping off, but Mum does a lot of that anyway, so we've got to work out the logistics because both my youngest daughter and my son play football. So my son plays for a couple of teams as well, and my daughter plays for a team. So there's a lot going on there, but we'll work it out.
Yeah. Nice. Well, keep your eyes peeled for Jay dressed as Benedict Wong this Halloween and let us know your thoughts on his costume. Right. Appreciate everyone who's been watching. Please do smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and check Jay's preview out over on Stretford Paddock as well, and all the merch that they've got currently at the minute. Some really, really good stuff over there. Appreciate you all. Subscribe. Thank you.